It's been 2 weeks since I've been able to drop one of these lock of the night segments due to circumstances where I was out of town for a little bit and was unable to get down to work. But we do have some good news in regards to the lock of the night, as we did go 5-0 over since the last time I did a recap. Very solid run there, plus 11.52 units for a 46% ROI in that amount of time. That includes 2 UFC events as well as the regional events that I covered in that amount of time. The first of which was McKinney versus Ribovics under 1.5. That came through with flying colors, and then Melissa Gatto goes out there and puts a beating on Tamiris Vidal, and then eventually gets that third round boob punch finish. Again, that fight was pretty much one-sided from the jump, and that's what lock of the night plays are supposed to look like. I don't care if we pay the chalk on it, but if they can go out there and just dominate from the jump, that chalk is ending up to be worth it more often than not. You hear a lot of people always saying, don't play anything over minus 200 straight, but you're making if you're making parlays, that becomes a lot more risky because you're looking for more than one outcome to be completed for you to be able to cash a ticket. Whereas if you just play the chalk straight up, you can't just go out there and play every single spot that's chalky. Obviously, you have to pick and choose your spots, but if you choose the right spots, your hit rate will be able to go up and you'll be able to actually cash those chalky spots as well, which is why you see me, I don't mind paying chalk if I really feel that fighter or that spot is very much worth it. And that's what we're doing this weekend as well with the lock of the night play that we have coming up. So again, over minus 200, I don't mind paying that chalk on that type of price. So, like I said, the last 2 weekends, we did very well, swept the board there for lock of the night plays. That now brings our yearly record for the lock of the night to 36-19 for minus 5.24 units and a minus 2% ROI. Again, the first couple months of the year, not the greatest. I was a little bit too trigger happy in terms of the spots that I was taking, where there were clearly other spots I should have taken instead. I've really honed that in over the last couple of weeks. We've brought that number down. I think we were in the hole about minus 25 units, if I'm not mistaken. So we've been able to battle back here, gotten 20 units over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to continue that trend and get close to what we were at last year. I believe we were at 30 to 35 units of profit, hoping to get closer to 50 this year. There's still more than half the year left to go, or at least about half the year left to go. I'm not sweating it. I know, just stick to the process and we'll be able to get to that goal slow and steady. Again, it's not all about winning it all in one night. It's all about just accruing it and building that bankroll up as best as possible and as efficiently as possible. All right. Too much dilly-dallying from the jump here. Let me get right into the top 3 lock of the night candidates. Reminder, these are just 3 candidates. I only end up going with one as the official lock of the night play. And if you want to find out which one that is, check the lock of the night Patreon page in the description below. Normally I drop this, as soon as I'm done researching the entire card. Sometimes prices change, and that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. So if you're hopping onto the Patreon, Thursday, Friday, there is a chance that some of these odds have changed, but you stay on for the following week, you'll be able to get those plays, those props, whatever it is from jump. So you'll be able to get similar lines as well. So always keep that in mind when you're looking at, whatever plays that I throw out there afterwards as well. So first lock of the night candidate I have is going to be Eileen Perez, who currently comes in at minus 210. She's taking on Jocelyn Edwards in a grudge match of sorts, as these two actually had a little bit of a dust up over at Extreme Couture last year before Perez's last fight. I believe it was last year. And it left Perez with a black eye. Obviously, a lot of bad blood leaking into this matchup. But I do think it's going to be Perez who will be able to establish her grapple-heavy approach, where we've seen Jocelyn Edwards struggle in the past. She will be able to throw up a couple of submissions from jump, but as we get into deeper waters, I think it'll be easier for Perez to hold Edwards on the mat. Edwards has very poor takedown defense, and Perez is very strong when she's able to get a hold of her opponents, and I think she'll be able to dominate Edwards on the mat, leading to a decision victory. That third round might be a little bit iffy if Perez's gas tank starts to fail her like it did in the Lucy Pudilova fight, but I do think she has a good enough grappling edge in this matchup that she should be able to grind this fight out. The second lock of the night candidate is going to be Alex Morono. coming in at minus 230 as he rematches Nico Price 7 years after the fact. The first time they threw down, we saw Morono win pretty much 7 to 8 minutes of that matchup with his awkward movement, blitz attacks, combination strikes, and even hurting Nico Price a few times, but he got a little bit too lackadaisical at the ending of the second round and played along the fence a little bit too much, allowing Nico Price to land a perfectly timed shot with enough power on it to completely crumple Alex Morono. I believe we'll see Morono get this fight back here. He is in far better shape in this stage of his career than Nico Price, who's really been struggling as of late, and I think that we'll see Morono do a great job in terms of pretty much dancing circles around him once again, entering the pocket when he needs to, landing some big shots, and potentially even knocking out Nico Price. I don't mind the chalky price here on Morono, as I expect him to go out there and be the one knocking out Nico Price this time around. The third and final lock of the night candidate is going to be Grant Dawson, coming in at minus 350. I'm expecting this line to be moving very shortly here because Dawson is a great talent. And even though he's coming off of a quick knockout loss to Bobby Green, the guy still has a great, I believe, 20-2 record. It's weird that his two losses were both sub 40-second first round knockout losses, but we know what he's like at his best. And he's defeated very good opponents, much better opponents than what he's facing this weekend, and Joe Selecki. And I think Dawson is the better overall grappler here. Selecki is a BJJ black belt, but we've seen him struggle off of his back where, he struggled to throw up submissions, get reversals. He's had to hold on to opponents to try to get the referee to stand them up, and that's just not going to work against a guy like Grant Dawson, who just has great control, great ability to pass into better positions, and he has shown that he's starting to improve his gas tank to go a hard 15 minutes if he needs to. I just don't see where Dawson loses this fight at all. He has Selecki beat everywhere. This might be one of those spots where the chalk is kind of worth it, especially straight up, just to guarantee that we can go out there and get that dub, hopefully. So that's why Grant Dawson is the third and final lock of the night candidate. Reminder, tomorrow we'll be dropping the top 3 dog of the night candidates, so make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled for that. And this weekend we also have ACA going down, and I'll have written breakdowns for you guys on the Lock of the Night Patreon page. Make sure you guys check that out if you guys want an appetizer to UFC 302, as I believe ACA goes down Friday afternoon. I'll have written breakdowns on all, I think, 12 or 13 of those matchups that are currently scheduled for that card. Make sure you guys check it out. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow for the top 3 dog of the night candidates.